Hello, friends, and happy New Year's Eve or New Year's as it might be for you. It is about 3 p.m. here in California, and I'm trying to get as much ready for New Year's as I can. So I'm filming this video. I think I finally got all my craft stuff planned. This mess in the background I will deal with next week. I still have another week off before we're back at school on next Tuesday. So I'm going to spend some of that time working on organizing my craft room a little bit better than it is right now. And yeah, just trying to get all of that stuff kind of sorted out to make things more accessible and also tidier, because it's a big mess right now. For one thing, I'm probably going to put away the ironing board. I was going to quilt before I got in the hospital, but right now I'm really in a cross-stitch mood. And so you got to strike that one while the iron's hot before it decides to move itself on. So I was initially going to start this video with a mini haul, but just before I press the record button, I realized that part of my haul relates to sales that are starting up. And so actually I will do the progress I have made since my last Vlogmas video. Now by the last Vlogmas video, I mean December 25th. I know it only went up like yesterday. That's because I just didn't edit it in a timely manner. But so these are the projects I've worked on since December 25th, and they're all cross stitch. It's only 3, but it's cross stitch. So the first one is Big City Christmas by Country Cottage Needleworks, and this is what it will look, no, this is where it was when I last worked on it. And here it is now. So what I've done was basically fill in most of the building. I still have this bottom section over here to fill in, and I really should have just completed that. But my tracker said that I had done the stitches for the challenge I was working on, and I needed to move on to the next project. And sometimes I let that control me a little bit too much. So I might try to finish this out today while editing. The other thing is I'm still having a dilemma over here. Do I just rip this out and fix it? Because I looked at the pattern wrong, and I thought that, sorry, it's trying to focus on my face, that this was supposed to be one stitch lower than the other one, when actually it's supposed to be right next to each other. And so this is all a stitch down too low, and to fix that, I cut a row off the bottom of the building. But if I don't fix that, and I just make the next one, I start the next one stitch up, how much is that going to bother me? Or is it something I should just leave for now, and then once I've done more of the buildings, then decide if it looks weird enough that I should come and fix it? I don't know. What do you guys think? What should I do? I really don't know. That's why it's the dilemma. And that's why this one has been in the naughty corner for a little while now, because I just have not known what to do about that situation. But I really love it, so I want to get back to it. Plus, I've been collecting the charts for I think it's the Beach Boardwalk or something like that, which is also 7 patterns across. And so I'm planning on doing that on the fabric below, and then I should still have enough fabric left over. This is one I coffee tea dyed myself. I should still have enough fabric after that to have one more long pattern. And I mean, maybe that will be a bell pull or something like that. I don't know, but that's what's going on with that. I worked a little bit more on the Twisted Christmas sampler. So here, no, I'll just treat this like it's a new project. Because I started this Christmas Eve, maybe. Anyways, here is where I am at. So I completed these 3 leaves, and these are road stitches. Then I did this band, which is a pain in the butt. I know it doesn't look like it should be, but having to count up accurately every time to make sure you're getting to the right section to park your thread. So I parked my thread, and then I would do the white, and I'd park it over here, do that green, do the white, like that, because I wanted to make sure that it was weaving in nicely in the back, that those carried threads were weaving in nicely. So that's why I did that. And that band, this little colorful thing, is in between every single band of this twisted band sampler. So that's going to be delightful. She did say that to make your life easier, you could get this Threadworks one, but I didn't have that in stash, and I didn't want to wait for it. So I was like, I'm just going to do this. And now I have mild regrets about that. Wish I had ordered that Threadworks. Because I used my 1, 2, 3 stitch, and I have a bunch of stuff that the USPS says is arriving tomorrow, which is sooner than I expected. But so I used my $50 Christmas gift card and then almost double that of my own money to kit up a lot of, not even a lot of projects, several projects that called for specialty threads. I work DMC out of my master set, but we'll talk about what other things I kitted up. So I did order the 2 Krynics I need for this one. However, I did not realize 1, 2, 3 Stitch does not sell Delicas. So I still need to order the beads for this. However, I don't do beading until the end of a project, so there's no rush on ordering those at all, because goodness knows it'll be a millennium before I'm at that point. I sometimes wonder, do you get to take your whips to heaven with you? Like, wouldn't that be cool if you could take all your cross stitch projects and your knitting projects and all of those things and, like, you know, finish them in the afterlife. And all the ones you wanted to work on but couldn't. I mean, wouldn't that be fantastic? With, like, heaven is like a big comfy room with nice chairs and the best cross stitch stands and knitting stuff, and you just get to, like, read all the books, knit all the things, crochet all the things, cross stitch all the things, quilt all the things, and, like, you have all the time in the world to do that. I think that would be lovely. I don't think that's what heaven is, but it would be nice. That's my earthly self talking. Anyways, okay, next up is Merry Christmas by the Letter. I have really been enjoying working on this one, and I need to put on about 200 more stitches, which I'm also hoping to work on while editing. But the thing is that I want to keep working on it. But I'm probably stopping working on Christmas things tonight, as I want to do the New Year, New Start stuff, and yeah. So this is what this one will look like when it's done. Isn't that gorgeous? And I love these 2 smaller, like, pictures. So this one And then this one in the bottom with the fireplace and the stockings. Anyways, really enjoying working on this. Here is where I was at when I picked up this project this time. And here is where I am at now. So you can see I finished the white and the R, and then I filled in the whole box, which is a lot of stitches, you guys. Then I did this and this, and now I've got 2.5 stitches started on the next letter, which is rejoice. So those stitches are for this green that's right there. And I'm kind of considering not putting this one away until I finish rejoice. And then I will have completed this whole card, because this card has two sets of 2 letters. So M-E and the 2 R's of Mary. And then the next one will be the Y and the picture, and then CH. And I really am enjoying this one a lot. It's mindless, it's pretty, it's really awesome. So moving that aside until it's time to do my editing, which means it's time to do stash. Okay, so yesterday we went out, and for a couple of reasons. One, I needed to get planners, because I kind of realized it was like, you know, that time. Like it was past that time. I procrastinated that one a long time. Anyways, so needed planners, but also my husband's big present for me for Christmas, probably, I'm gonna guess, spurred on a little bit by the fact that I had been hospitalized for so long, and that was worrisome for him, is he upgraded my iPad to the iPad Pro. I have not taken it out of the box yet, because we didn't get home until 12:30 last night. We were out for a long time. No, Lillian. But in that time, okay, so we left at 6, because the first store we wanted to go to closed at 7. Okay, so let's go over the number of stores we managed to make it to and things we did. We went to Trader Joe's and Sally's and Pet Club. Pet Club closed at 7, so we had to hit all 3 of those stores by 7, just because we were going geographically towards them all. So that's 3. Then we went by Lexus, and my husband found a car that he's considering buying. Actually, I need to remind him he wanted to call Lexus about that car today. It will actually, if he gets that car, it'll come in under what the insurance has offered. It's a 2010, and it has 145,000 miles, and he tells me, well, I'll only have it for a year or 2 before I upgrade. I know this man. It will be a lot longer than that. But anyways, okay, so then after Lexus, so we're on store number 4. We went to Verizon. Then we went to Best Buy. Then we went to Michael's. Then we went to the Apple Store. Then we went to Joann's. That closed at 9. So we hit, of which it's now 9 o'clock. Then we went to Dutch Brothers, because we decided to go and look at Christmas lights. I'm counting that as 11. At the big place that does the Christmas lights. A lot of the houses had taken them down, and it was so late in the evening that some had just turned off their lights for the day. but it was still beautiful, and I will put in a few pictures of some of my favorite ones. There was 2 with Harry Potter themed, which I thought was interesting. I mean, they had like Voldemort and everything. So Christmas lights. Then we went to Walmart. Then we went to Winco because somehow the sleep aids that I had put in the cart at Walmart were no longer in the cart, and my husband insists he didn't take them out, but I don't know how else they came out. I think he could have just done it on accident, but needless to say, they're not there anymore. So we went to Winco to get some sleep aids for me, which they had, which was awesome. I slept about 8 hours last night, which is, for me right now, really good. I did miss church because I overslept, but I needed the sleep. Okay, so Winco. Then we went to In-N-Out Burger for dinner. So that's 14 stops, and we got home at 12:30. 14 stops in 6 hours. I think that's pretty good, honestly. But still, it was exhausting and late. I did mention the Apple Store. Anyways, so we wanted to compare the price from Best Buy to the Apple Store, and they were exactly the same. So, and the other thing that was really nice that we didn't realize until we were paying is the guy who helped us out actually gave us a student discount. Or he said an education discount. And I hadn't even told him that I work in an elementary school. So he just did that. And that was really kind of him. So this is the iPad Pro 11-inch, 52 gigabytes. And part of the reason I wanted to upgrade to the Pro is because their editing software for video editing is so much better on this. It's got timestamps, it's got more things that you can block together, and I think my videos will be a lot better. And I'll be able to reference timestamps easier without having to go through after I've already uploaded it to watch it again and write down the timestamps, because iMovie doesn't give you timestamps. So I'm really, really excited about that. We are gonna order me a cover and the Apple Pencil 2, because the Apple Pencil 1, which I have right here, won't work with this. I still have my other iPad, which I plan to use for, I don't know if I plan to use, I mean, I might plan to use that one for the cross-stitch stuff, or just for watching YouTube videos or whatever. But anyways, so this one also has a really good front-facing camera, so I might start recording my videos on this. That is still to be determined, but I'm really, really excited about this. And I didn't think that actually this is what he would get me this year, so really happy. So what else did I get while we were on those journeys or whatever? Planners. Wait, I don't want to talk about the planners first. Okay, well, at Michael's, and their Happy Planner selection was dreadful. I saw these cloud, okay, it's Yarnspiration Karen cloud cakes. This is 227 grams, it's 720 yards, and the sign by it said buy one get one half off. So, and it said that these were $13.99. When I went to check out, and when did they change to self-checkout? I did not like that feature. That's something else for another time. They rang up as $5. So it wasn't buy one get one half off, but they were $5 each, which made it much cheaper. So I bought 4 of these because I thought it was buy one get one half off, so I needed an even number. Anyways, I think that this will make a nice, I'm thinking corner to corner blanket. It's so soft, you guys. So soft. It's 100% polyester. I don't care. But yeah, and I think that this is a beautiful color, and they only had four of them. So scored there. And my husband was like, "You were gonna buy $40 worth of yarn?" And I was like, yeah, because that's a cheap blanket to make $40 for a blanket. So now I'm making a blanket for $20. And he was like, oh, okay. So there was that. Okay, so then, oh, we also stopped by Wetzel Pretzel. So that's 15 stops. Got a pretzel and some of their lemonade, and that was delicious. Anyways, so then we went to Joann's, and we literally had 20 minutes till they closed, 15 to 20 minutes. And I managed to do some damage there, it's true. Now, because I was so rushed, I got this planner as my purse planner. And isn't it pretty? What I did not realize is that this was a July to June planner, which means it's only good for 6 months now. So that really sucks. But I'll just I thought about like taking out all of those months in between and just like having January, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. Anyways, this will be my purse planner, and that's fine because basically I just use it to track like the dates and stuff that we need to remember and know. Plus, I think that this cover is just so beautiful, and the monthly, I mean, they're just really pretty in this planner. So it's okay. I'll look at this one with the daisies. So anyways, my husband and I are going to need to sit down and put all the dates into the planners because we've been messing up a little bit of like scheduling a dentist appointment and a dog grooming at the exact same time on the exact same day. That was not like because I haven't been planning, don't have a planner with me most of the time. Need to really get better about that. So got that planner, and then I got my bigger planner, and isn't that so cute? It's a they called it the woodland one, and all of these are just so beautiful, and I just really love it. And so I'm gonna go back and look at past planners to see how I used the 3 vertical boxes. I'm thinking in the smaller planner to have 1 row, because this is also vertical. Let me show you. January. So they've got a monthly calendar at the beginning. Let me just show you. So this is how it is. So focus. You have 3 priorities you can set there. So I will set like household, 3 things I really want to hit in January. Then important and things to note. Then the next page is the monthly calendar. So I'll go through, put all the important dates in here for each month. And from there, I will keep track and reference when I do the weeklies. So I'm thinking in this one to have 1 row dedicated to me, 1 to my husband, and 1 to household needs, or things we're going to do together. And that'll just help keep everything clear. So that I think that's how I'm going to use this smaller one. But I've also got the larger one, and I'm thinking of using this one to track like one for me and things I'm tracking, so like my blood sugar levels, the temperature each day for a temperature thing, like exercise. One to track like what crafts I worked on, and one to track books and reading. But again, I'm going to go and reference past ones to see what I did there. So that is my planner. The other thing I got to go with it is a set of, it's called Classic Blocks. So it includes, here, let me show on the back actually in the picture. These are to-dos. This is just a big block that you can write in. And then down here is calls and emails. And I don't really need to know calls and emails, so I'll probably utilize that for something else. But you can slip those in like each week and just be able to check them off and things like that. Now, I also got a new set of Papermate flares to go with my planners. These were on sale at Walmart, so that's why I got them. Now, I have also this 2024 Stitchy planner, and this is from Amanda Dion. She's the lady who did the stained glass sowls. The stained glass sowls. She's out of Canada. Anyways, so I bought this quite a while ago, and it came in quite a while ago, and I put it to the side. Hey, you guys, stop that. And I'm going to use this mainly as a cross-stitch tracker, not for other crafts, just mainly for cross-stitch. George, enough, bud. But so this thing has a lot. It has like goal planning for the year, but also for each month. So let's flip through January. I can't show you the front page of January because it contains a pattern. So each month, on the first page of it, on the back of it, hang on, let me get my fingers in. There's a little pocket that you can put things in. I don't really know how I'll utilize that, but there is that. And then there's this grid paper where you can make, I'm going to use it for writing down all of the like sals and goals for those kind of things. Then there, and I'm just going to flip this back and go back and forth like that. This page is this month's Stitchy shopping list, which is really handy to have. So it's floss colors, and then what's really awesome is you write what whip you need that for, which I think is great because I can never remember why I was buying what I was buying. There's also fabric type and size needed, which is also really great. Then on the other side is January Stitch Challenge. So each month she puts together these challenges, and they're all right here in the planner. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to complete the following: Stitches Challenge, which is a certain number of stitches. The Stitcho board, which I will show you, it's on the next page, and the Stitch Me bonus pattern. So if you stitch the Stitch Me bonus pattern, you get 10 points. You can share your progress on the Facebook group, which she includes a link there. And each square, so then this is an oops board. So that's what it looks like. And each square you cross off the oops board gets you 1 extra entry. Even the bad things gets you points. So, visit from the frog, ribbit. This is one where I'm probably going to save doing this until January starts. But if I were to frog that section at the top of the, on the top of the Big City Christmas, I could count that for frogging, which is great and kind of makes me tempted to do that. However, I could put that off because when I pulled out for the Whip Go, my Whip Go preview, I had Royal Queen called, and as I pulled it out to look at it after filming, I found a sticky note from myself that told me I need to defrog one whole symbol because I had stitched it in DMC white and it was actually meant to be Whisper thread white. So I have something I need to frog and I should probably do that. Another oops is spent money in a no spend month. That is undoubtedly going to happen, but I'm not going to try to do that on purpose. I'm thinking about doing Stitch from Stash this year. Because I'm really hoping to get some things finished. Oops, spilled something on a whip. Again, I'm not going to purposely do that, but if it happens, it's nice to know that you get an extra entry for that. You lost a needle. I wish that we could count January for that because I lost a needle like yesterday or the day before and I have no clue where it's at. Like 0 clue. I've looked all around me, have not found it. And lost at Thread Chicken. This also happened to me yesterday or the day before. I had like 2 stitches left. Yeah, like 2 stitches left and I just couldn't make it work. So had to pull out another strand for those 2 stitches. And like then I was moving on to another color, so that really sucked. But you know, it happens. Then the prize for this month is, because she'll randomly draw winners, is choice of any pattern from my Etsy shop, Creatively Stitching. So the next page in the planner is the Stitch Count Challenge. So your goal for this month is 3,000 stitches. Every time you do 100 stitches, you color in one of these X's. So once your stitch goal is met, you get 10 points. An extra 10 points. So every 1,000 stitches is 1 point. When you make it to that 3,000, you get a bonus 10 points. And then it continues for further. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So up to 10,000 stitches. So I think that's really cool, and I'm hoping that that will help encourage me to meet more goals. Now here's the Stitch-O board, and I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but that is what it looks like. And some of these prompts are pretty easy. You have stitch 200 stitches total during the month. That should be easily met. There was one, and I asked specifically about this one on the group. Stitch when it's snowing. And I said, I live somewhere it never snows. And she said, put on a YouTube video of snow and stitch while you watch that. And that is stitching while it's snowing. And I was like, oh. So I can get really creative with fulfilling some of these. Stitch on New Year's Day or Martin Luther King Day. Awesome. I'm hoping to stitch tomorrow, so there we go. Some of them are specific, like stitch with DMC 817 or 844. So I'm going to have to work a little harder to try to get those. Stitch on a Saturday, stitch on a Sunday, stitch on a Tuesday, stitch on a Thursday. Stitch to a wintry movie or TV episode. So, okay, so here's how the points work. There's a max of 10 points. If you get the 4 corners, which the 4 corners are stitch 250 stitches total, stitch 500 stitches total, stitch 750 stitches total, and then stitch 1,000 stitches total. So if you stitch just 1,000 stitches during the month, you will have gotten the 4 corners, and that's worth 1 point. If you complete any line, so diagonal doesn't work on this. It has to be up and down. But if you complete any line, then you get 2 points. If you complete the outer square, so this whole outer square, you get 5 points. And if you complete the whole board, you get 10 points. However, when you're claiming the points, you can only claim the highest point value. So if I completed a line, but I also did the 4 squares, and then maybe I did this. So, sorry, 4 squares, but then maybe I also did this. I don't get 3 points. I get 2 points because that's the highest stitch value. If I complete the whole outer border, I don't get 1 point for that, 2 points for a line, and then 5 for the outer border. I get 5 points for the outer border. So whatever is the highest value for it is what you get. But I think that this is really fun. Set this month's stitching goals. I plan on doing that probably even today, so I'll be able to cross that off. Okay, so Stitchy monthly, the next page, Stitchy monthly checklist. So you write down release dates of patterns and what's being released. So this will be really useful for SALs. So I'll be able to write down the SAL, the date that it's coming out, and what the SAL is. Especially good for me as I frequently forget to download new parts. So it'll be good to remember to download it, because then there's a place to put an X. So once I download it, that's what I'm gonna do, is put an X by it. This month's fun. Here is some of the fun you can expect to see in the Stitchy Collective this month. And you have to write it down because she didn't know those things in advance. So there's always like group challenges and stuff like that. So it's really fun. Now this I'm also really excited about. Hang on, let me take a sip. Okay, so the next one is a board. Well, not a board, a calendar. And you use it to keep track of how many stitches you do every day. Down at the bottom, you set a goal for the number of stitches you'd like to make during this month, your focus project, your average stitches per day, and then your stitches for the whole month. And as I'm hoping to make this the year of stitching as opposed to my past years of knitting and crocheting, mainly knitting, that have taken over lately. I miss stitching and I want to reignite that bug. So I'm really hoping that this will help me reach those goals and get there and finish stuff or start all the things, who knows. Okay, so the next page, and sorry this section is really long. It's just, this is an awesome planner, well worth the money. I think she might still have some available, and I'm really making this like my stitch. It always feels sacrilegious to say these things, but like my stitching Bible, where I focus on this, I complete it, I write the things down. I even have like a pen attached to it so I remember to write the things down. And just really actually get some stitching done this year. Okay, so the next page is a whip report card. So use this card monthly to track progress of your whips. Your overall progress of each whip is located in your extra section. This is a place for you to report on the whips you are choosing to work on this month. Reward whip. This is your reward for meeting all your whip goals. For example, if your goal is to stitch 1,000 on your whip and you complete that before the end of the month, you get to work on your reward whip. And I think that's really cool. So what I'm probably gonna do is write down the whip go whips. And each of those is 1,000 stitches. And then I have some challenge groups that I'm on that have specific stitch counts that I'm supposed to meet. So I'll write those down too. And those will be my goals. The reward whip, I don't know. I'll decide that later today, I guess, when I put this down. I mean, it might be the Christmas band sampler, because I started that after creating my whip go board, so that's not featured anywhere on there. Or I mean, just different options like that. So the next one is monthly progress and finishes. Color an X for each finish you got this month. Then things I did great this month, so you can reflect on what you did great during the month. Things I learned this month, so always count twice, or whatever. And Stitchy wish list items, so those things you hope to get, the patterns that came out that you're like, oh, I don't want to buy that. Here's a place to jot that down. Hang on. Okay, so after that we get into the weekly spreads. So each weekly spread is 1 page. Like the next week's is on the next side. So that's fine, because I'm planning on using this solely for stitching and not for other things in life. So up on the top you have your focus this week. So like the project you're going to focus on. Your stitch goal. Then you have the spaces for each day. And then on the other side, you have your tasks for the week. So you can just write those down. And your whip notes. So the day of the week, your stitch is done, the whip worked on, and the number of stitches left to meet that goal. So I think that's really, really cool. And then that's it for each month. In the back, there's an extra section. So this is where you have like your Stitchy inventory. So your kit legend. So if you're kitting things up, I'm gonna have to skip around here. There is a fabric inventory. There's 2 pages of this where you can write down your fabric, like your fabric stash, fabric name, the type, the size, the count, the color, and if you're putting it in a kit, or like maybe the project you plan on using it for. Next, you have a floss inventory. So it goes through every DMC color. Sorry about that, they got really barky. So it has each DMC color. Then you have how many you own. And I'd probably just write this in pencil so that you can erase it. Then if you're kitting things up and you've assigned a kit number, you can use that. I probably won't use that because I have the master set. And then you have over here how many are available. this would be like a whole day to figure out and get sorted. But it might tell me then what DMC I actually need to buy. Okay, so moving on from that, it is quite long, like pages and pages. They also include the light effects one, so the metallics you can do, the variegated floss, color variations, what else do you have here? The satins, the atoll, and then there's a discontinued color and the replacement option. They have that in the back just for you to be able to easily reference. And then if you make any substitutions like color number, blah, 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 I'm using this replacement color. Then there's a needle and strand guide. And this is to tell you if you're using this count of fabric, this is the needle size you should be using. And she even includes if you're using, if it's a light color or a dark color. So she has it so that with dark colors, you're using more floss than with light colors. I tend to use the same number of colors of floss regardless of light or dark, but I hadn't even thought about that being a possibility of something that you could do. She's got a fabric size calculator, a stitching dictionary, which has just a ton of different phrases that you might come across that you don't know, like aperture card, a card that has a hole pre-cut on the front for you. You use these to make cross-stitch cards. DMC Magic Guide fabric. Just all the different brands of things. USO is an unstarted object, while a UFO is unfinished, and a toad is a trashed object abandoned in disgust. Like, I've not heard that one before, and I think that one's really cool. And then there's a few more lines that you can add other phrases that you might come across. A whim, WHIMM, is work hidden in my mind. I've never heard that one. Anyways, then there's one page of pattern notes and doodles, and it's just like a grid, like that. And then there's a few sticker sheets and another pocket. That's the back cover. And so, I mean, this has like whip, new start, finished, like fun cross stitch related ones. And then these are her little stitchy bobbins and like that. And I think that's just really cute. So that's why I shared this whole stitchy. Come on. Come on. Right now it's not happy with me. Probably just go, yep, that was the easier method. Should have done that to begin with. Yeah. So then it has the thing, so you can just close it. The other thing I will be using for planning is this bullet journal. And I will be using this for challenge trackers. So while I will write the goals and stuff in the Stitchy planner, I like to keep smaller tracking methods. So like if I need to stitch 2,400 stitches, which I believe I do for one of my challenge groups, I can make 100 square blocks that then I color in as I go to help me keep track. And that's a motivational thing that has worked for me in the past. And so that's what I plan on using this for. And every month I will go through and update the new month's challenges. Some are year-long challenges. So I'm going to try to put the year-long challenges in the front, not mixed in with the others. But so yeah, that's what I will be spending some time doing today or tomorrow. Okay, so now we can get into my actual crafting plans for 2024. And I did mention that most of these are cross stitch plans. Hang on, let me adjust this. Oh wait, let me mention one more thing, stash related. Okay, so I didn't actually buy these yet. I am planning to sometime in the near future, but I thought I would share them with you and the shop owner. Just so if it's something that you're interested in, you might consider buying them. And these are 3D printed plastic bobbins. And the one I decided, they'll send you 3 free samples of colors that you're considering. And so the one I actually decided on, I cannot find, and I am thinking it possibly dropped off my desk and the little monsters took off with it. But so these were the other 2 I was considering. So green on gray, which I think is very nice, and gray on green, which I think is, I had actually thought that this is the way I would go, but now I think that it's a little bit harder to see. So anyways, the one I decided on is actually black with the green numbers, and it looks so striking. And if I find it while editing, I will take a picture and insert it to show you what it looks like. But anyways, then they printed out a little, so it's called JF squared on Etsy, JF squared prints on Etsy. Thanks, Kate. I mean, she even included my name. And then this one is just like a standard one, but that's again the green on the gray. And so what you can do is you can buy the bobbins with the numbers pre-printed on it. Stop, George. So to get the full set of DMC bobbins is $200, which I think is not bad. Hey, stop it, Georgie. For one thing, there's over 400 bobbins included in that price. So we're talking about less than 50 cents per bobbin. And I think for the quality and how clear it is, I think that's a really good deal. So I was going to purchase these in this month. However, I made an impulse extreme buy. I bought, okay, so last year, Chiau Knitting Needles put out an interchangeable set that sold out basically immediately, and people couldn't find it anywhere. Well, they are doing a second run. It's called the Chiau Forte. They are doing a second run of that. They have made some improvements because some people were experiencing the needles breaking too easily. So now the smaller size needles are made out of carbon, I think. But these are like luxe needles. They were not cheap. But for one thing, it has from a size 2 needle up to a size 15. So that's like, I think it's basically like 2 of their smaller sets put together. And when you price compare like that, because I was going to need to get 2 sets for some of those smaller needles and some of the bigger needles. When you compare like that, it's basically the same price. And this is a really nice set. It was a pre-order, so it won't ship until mid-January. But when I get it, I will go through and show you guys how nice this set is. The tips are metal tips, even though the shaft is wood. it comes with 6 twist cables. So the bigger needles have to have a bigger connection, and the smaller needles need a smaller connection. So it's 3 and 3 of each of those in different sizes to create different size cords. For some of the sizes I need to use, I'll need to order more cables online, but that's fine. For it also comes with 3 of their standard, well-known red cables. So those 6 are silver ones, and they have a 360 turn in, like twist, so that the cable will twist as you're knitting, which leads to less strain on your wrists, they said, and also less like twisting. So I'm really excited to try that out. Part of the reason I also decided to make this big purchase is because I've had an interchangeable set on my wish list for years, and I finally just decided to, like, I really had wanted that Forte set last year and I couldn't find it anywhere. So when I got an email about the pre-order, I jumped on it. Like, and I think that shop listed it a day before they were supposed to, because then the next day Chiau announced a second run, and I was like, well, I already pre-ordered it. So there was kind of like a, oh, that's a lot of money. But with the number of needles I keep buying, it'll all work itself out. Anyways, so that's what I did. So I'm going to have to save up to purchase those, but I am planning on purchasing them from that store. I'm not really a bobbin person, but I really want that 2-sided case that has all the colors there, so that I can just easily pull the colors as I need. So yeah, that is the one thing I wanted to share, and I really recommend checking them out if you're just curious even to see what the samples are like. I mean, they're not that bendy. I mean, they're well made, and the color, like having the numbers on it, really cool. And yeah, so really, if this is something you think you might be interested in, highly recommend checking them out. And the lady was so delightful talking to through the Etsy conversations as I was like trying to figure some things out. Okay, so the first Sal-ish thing I'm going to talk about, I'm purely doing by myself. This is a crochet along from 2 years ago that I never did. And that's because at the time I wasn't into gnomes. I was like, gnomes? Okay. Now I'm into gnomes. I'm always a little late to the bandwagon, honestly, but I always get there eventually. Really, it was the fairy garden. Like, when I started the fairy garden, I just went down a whole rabbit hole of fairy garden stuff, fairies, gnomes, and that's when I landed on the gnomes. But anyways, so this is a corner-to-corner blanket. And each month there is a different gnome, and these are available for free from Repeat Crafter Me, and she's a fantastic designer. I've made some of her things before, and actually this is how the whole gnomes hook thing started. So yeah, it was like a collaboration. Now I printed out what the blanket should look like. However, even though in the print preview it fit on the page, in the actual printing situation, that did not happen. But I didn't want to waste ink and print it all again, so they're cut off on either side, but this is a basic idea to give you. I bought so this is the other purchase from yesterday. The yarn I needed for the first 2 gnomes. I plan on only doing the gnome in that month. I am missing one color for that, and I cannot find bubblegum. It uses Red Heart Super Saver. There wasn't even a slot for bubblegum to go in. So I don't know if it's been discontinued or what. And then the other thing that's really crazy is that normally Michaels is known for their bigger like yarn selection, but Michaels had almost no yarn that we went to yesterday. However, Joann's had a ton, and they had every color I needed except for bubblegum. So I'm going to search the interwebs and go about trying to figure that out. The other thing I need to reacquaint myself with is changing colors as you crochet on corner to corner, because you can see like here on this first guy, you'll start at this corner, but then you're gonna have the light blues on either side. And so one thing I'm gonna need to do is wind off some smaller balls from the bigger skein so that you can have multiple access to the same color in multiple locations. I do remember having to do that I've done a color changing block before, but that was years and years and years ago, like maybe 7. Yeah, probably about 7 years ago. And so I need to remember how to do it. But I'm really excited to make this blanket, and I hope to stay caught up. So, right, she has PDFs with these. Hang on. And right now, they're all free. So later, I'm going to download them. Although having to pay for it is not a bad thing, because she definitely deserves everything. She is constantly putting out free patterns, and she's just really creative. But anyways, each one only has about 5 colors, which is awesome. And there is a girl version, and I was like, oh, do I do the boy or the girl version? Here's a mock-up of the chart of the girl version. However, looking at future ones, there's plenty of girl gnomes involved. This one, this one, this one, this one. So does that row have... Yeah, that row has 3 girls. The row above has 3 boys. But, yeah. So there's plenty of girl gnomes in the chart that I don't feel the need to have to change from a boy to a girl. So I'm really, really excited about this. I cannot wait. I may cast on the first couple of rows. It's just kind of like a... I mean, I don't know how many new projects I'm going to have at the beginning of the month, but whatever. So the next one I want to talk about, I don't have the mock-up, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. But then, and that is Rabbit and Fox's yearly free sampler pattern. And then I saw the theme for this year is Faith, Hope, and Love. And that really kind of spoke to me. And like a few days ago, I put a DMC cone in the cart that I haven't purchased yet. But it's like, I brought out the color from my master stash. And I think it's this beautiful light pink. And I think that that's just so fitting for that theme. And I looked at the first chart and I really liked it. And I was like, you know what? I think I am gonna participate in this, at least download it and start it or whatever. And so I have 2 options. And I'm leaning towards the more drastic one because you know it's me. The first is this 18 count white. I got this at Michael's yesterday for a different reason, but they had 2, and so I bought both. But what I'm leaning towards actually is this black 28 count even weave. And that's because looking at this pale pink I think it would just look so dramatic and beautiful on black. And I think I'm a little bit worried about the white getting too dirty too quickly. And also that this pink isn't dark enough really to stand out nicely on the white. So I'm really leaning towards doing it on this black fabric. And I'm not someone who generally has problems stitching on black. I'm usually okay on black. So yeah, I have quite a large piece here. And that's it, folded several times. So I'm still gonna have plenty of this black left over. I'm not even positive why I have so much of this black. I don't know, but that's what I'm leaning towards for this year's stitch along. I went through all of my silks because I had hoped to have enough, and I just don't. And then I thought maybe about doing each month's in a different pink-ish, like if it has pink in it, because I do have enough that have pink in it. But then I was like, no, I really want this one to be monochromatic. I don't want to have to think about it. And I had put that cone in the cart. I haven't purchased it yet, but I had put the cone in the cart and just was like kind of flowing together. So that is my plan for that sal. The next sal that I am planning as my first New Year's new start is the Gilmore Girls Gilmoreisms. And so I'm really wanting to start the frames for that. I got the kit, so it came with the fabric. And this is from Forbidden Fibers Company, based out of Tennessee. And this color is called Casablanca. So it came with the fabric, and then she also hand dyes her own floss. So I'm really excited to start that. Part of me is like, oh, put those Christmas ones away and just start the border today. But don't be hasty, Master Gamgee, as you know what they say. Okay, so next we have what actually took most of my monies from the 1, 2, 3 stitch, and that is I joined Shannon Christine's Christmas mug design sal. Did I have a printout of? No. I thought maybe I had a printout of the mock-up of all of them, but no, I think I just showed that to my sister-in-law. I don't think I printed it. So I decided, even though there is a DMC only version, that I was going to do it with the Weeks Dye Works. And so I bought all of the skeins I needed for the Weeks Dye Works. And I mean, there's like 5 skeins of emerald, 3 of bright leaf, 4 of holly, 4 of candy apple, 2 mascara, 2 garnet, then 1 each of Chablis, Havana, and carrot. So that was a lot. That was a lot of floss. They did not have the recommended fabric, so I found a gray that I thought would work, and I'm gonna be stitching this on 32 count fabric, because if I stitched it on 28 count, I would need to go up to the bigger fabric size, and that was just like, I mean, like $50 as opposed to like 20 something. So I didn't want to do that. So I will be stitching it on 32 count, and that's all in the package that is supposed to arrive on Wednesday. So I'm really excited about that. Once I get that all sorted out, I plan on starting it ASAP. Now, this next one, I contacted the company that, or not, the shop that I normally do the, what is it called? The auto ship clubs with. And I haven't heard back from them, but I'm thinking because it's the week in between Christmas and New Year's that she probably just hasn't got around to it. If I haven't heard from her by the end of next week, I'll contact her again. But I'm planning on doing Cottage Gardens Fabulous House series. And that is what it looks like. So then I thought about doing them as individual houses, but I decided they all belong together. And so I am going to be stitching them on one piece of fabric. And I'm really excited about it. The first two houses that have been released are so cute. And then I'm really excited about some, like a Hobbit house. Yes, please. Then there's Fairy House. Super excited about Fairy House. Log Cabin, Haunted House, House Barn, Cottage. I mean, I'm really, really excited about this Sal. And so what I had contacted, it's called Beach Cottage Stitchers, I think is the shop name. And I had requested fabric for the full project, plus the charts that have been released so far and the specialty flosses that go with them. So, and each one only has like a couple specialty flosses, so it shouldn't get too expensive. The initial price will be a little bit expensive because the fabric. But other than that, I'm really, really excited about it. So can't wait. Next, we have the Quaker the Country Quaker Sal. And part of what I got most excited about, is they had the South African flag. And so I had originally planned on starting this after my grandma passed away, but I held off. The Sal officially starts on the 24th of January, so I will not be starting it ahead of time. I went through my fabric because this is 410 stitches wide by 210 stitches high, which meant I didn't actually have enough of most of my fabrics. So, what I did is I again went through my my Hades, and this is one I'd already planned on restarting, and that is New York Theater Christmas, and that is what I had done of it so far. And I started this on 22 count hardanger with 2 threads over one, and it's a little bit tight, and so I planned on restarting it on 18 count fabric. However, when I was at Michael's yesterday, I found these 18 count fabrics that are 29.5 inches by 36 inches on 18 count. And what I needed for 18 count is, so this is without the sides, 22.8 by 11.17. So I needed about 36 inches to leave enough border, widthwise. I mean, you can see it's really wide. So I decided to do it on 18 count, which is my preference to stitch on 18 count anyways, because, because 2/1 on 18 count is fine. Again, I had a bulky situation with the 22 count, so I am a little worried as this fabric seems a little stiff. However, I think it will work itself out. I think it will work itself out. Words. As I use it more. I did have some 18 count that would have worked, but it was more of a cream, and I really wanted white with this pattern. And the other thing is, so my plan to finish this in a year is each week to do 2 motifs. I went through and I counted how many motifs there was. I won't even need to do 2 every single week, but if I do 2 on most weeks, then I will be able to complete this in the year. So that is my plan. I also want to get the American flag one, and I'm actually wondering, so 11.7, that's basically 12 inches. $12 and 12 is 24, and this is 30. I'm actually wondering if I put the American one right below the South African one, so they're like even a little bit touching at the very tips. Because I am South African American, I think it might be really cool to have both of them like together. And now that I think about that, I might actually do that because I'm South African American. So this year I will focus on South Africa, and maybe next year I'll focus on America. And I think that would be really cool. And then I also want to start the Great Britain one, because my sister and I are going to work on that together. The sister that lives in England, for my nephew, her son, who, so his father's German. My sister is South African American. And they moved to England because she's attending university there, and I think their plan is to stay in England, but he loves England. He's so happy there, and I'm so happy for him, and he's doing great. So I think it would be, and my sister was, the reason why we decided to do this together is because she asked me about it and was like, I was thinking about doing it for Hayden, and I was like, I was also thinking about doing it for Hayden. And so then I was like, well, what if we, like, you know, we both work on it, we both do it. And she's like, well, I think there will be a noticeable difference from where you worked on it and where I worked on it. And I think she's just crazy, because our main noticeable difference between my stitching and hers is the back. Her backs are messy, and that's fine, because he's not going to be looking at the back. He's going to look at the front, and he's going to remember that his mommy and his aunt made this for him, and he loves handmade things because he knows the time and effort that goes into them. And that's all that matters, is that he likes it. And so yeah, I need to get the start on it, so that and that maybe I will try to kit up and get started before this sale starts, because I need to give it to my mom to take over there to her after I've worked on it some, because she's gonna go over there to help with the baby while my sister finishes out her last semester at school. So yeah, I want to be able to hand it off to my mom. Anyways, yeah, that's just some planning, but I am really, really excited about this, and I'm actually extra excited now that I've thought of that South Africa America plan. I think that'll be really fun. Okay, So next SAL, I don't have a printout for this, is Clouds Factory's Hans Christian Andersen SAL. I really wanted to buy the fabric that Fiberlicious dyed to go with it. However, buying that from Clouds Factory was an additional $40. And I was like, that's just a lot for fabric. So I decided not to do that. And then I was gonna buy some fabric off 123 Stitch, but nothing felt quite right. And I looked through my stash, and again, I don't know that I've chosen the right one, but we're gonna go with it. And I chose this piece of fabric that I have from Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's called Nessie. I am a little bit worried about the green splotches that's on the other side, mainly. And part of why I worry about it is because they're not consistent at all. Like, the bottom half has none, and this one has some. But I think it will be okay. I think it will be okay. I think this project will look nice on this fabric, and we're just gonna go with it. I don't think I ever even bought the not the Grim Reaper, the Brothers Grimm one. So now I might go back and look at getting that SAL, as this is supposed to be kind of a companion piece. Anyways, this SAL doesn't start until the 10th of January, so there's a little time before that starts. The final SAL I have to share is Heaven and Earth is doing a stitch along, and I chose this one to so there was like 10 options, and I chose this one because of the fairy garden and all that kind of stuff. And so the first part has already been mailed out, which is super awesome. If you finish 4 pages of the pattern by the end of the year, you get all 10 of the SAL pieces as your reward. If you finish the whole pattern, you get all 10 of them plus 2 HAEDs from the website. So I think this fabric is big enough. This is a mystery that I found in my stash. It's nice and soft and flexible. And when I measured it, I think it's 16 count. And I think it's big enough. I think when I measured it, I determined it was more than big enough. So, like, I think I'm able to do 5-inch borders all around, which means I can possibly put it on the stand. So yeah, so I'm really excited to do this. That brings me to the group challenges that I'm participating in this year. So first we're going to talk about Semi-Sane Stitches yearly challenges. So I entered 3 of them. The first one is 24,000 stitches in the year 2024 on a single project. And I chose my giant Harry Potter. So 24,000 stitches equals about 2,000 stitches a month. So that will be my goal, is 2,000 stitches a month. This is one I had originally started on some white fabric. It's now got, like, I've spilt stuff on the fabric. It's got some yellowing. I didn't like having to split stitches for fractionals, so I decided to restart it, even though I'd gotten quite a bit done. Well, I mean, for me. You gotta run everything through the Kate factor, which is I'm slower than everyone. But, you know, I'd done those banners. But, yeah, I was really tired of splitting the fabric, and the white wasn't showing up as nicely as it should have been. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy some vintage country mocha and I'm gonna restart it. And that is what I did. And I am not very far along. Far enough, I suppose. And here is where I am at on it. So I'm working on the Gryffindor banner right now, and it's been a while since I pulled this out. But look at how much better the white is showing up on this fabric. Blow my face. And so I'm happy that I restarted it. I don't like stitching the banners at all, which is probably why I haven't worked on this in a while. But so making 24,000 stitches progress in this year will get me much further along, and so that's why I chose this project for that. The next one is 24 hours a month on a series until it's complete. So that's about an hour a day, or like 6 hours on a weekend, or you know, something like that. And I chose the Cottage of the Month series because I have been needing to get these done for quite some time now. And I just have some really random ones left that I need to work on. So let me pull those out. I've also got the seasonal ones in there. But anyways, so when the series is complete, if it's not the end of the year, then you choose a new series. So after that, I'll probably do the seasonal celebrations because I have a few that I'm trying to get done on that. Yeah, this is the end of the year. Okay, I don't know, where did my June one go? Okay, well, I need to locate the June one, like, kind of importantly. I'm pretty sure I didn't finish the June one. Okay, we've got May in here, we've got August, November. So, where is the June one? Oh, guys, I do this way too often. My guess would be that I stuck it on a Q-snap. That I stuck it on a Q-snap and I stuck that somewhere, thinking I would remember, and I just don't. So typical me. Okay, it's okay, I'll find it. But so I've got 4 months left to do. June, which I cannot locate. July, which looks like this, and here's where I am at on it. Then September, which will look like this. And here is where I am at. So some pretty good progress on September. And then the one that I am the least completed on, and that is December, which this is what it will look like. I think it's actually the prettiest one, but I'm usually so busy during December's that I just don't stitch. So I'm sure you can, okay, that actually shows it better. That's how much I've done on December. So this is the one that will require the most work. But yeah, it'll be good to like finish up this series. The final year-long challenge for this group is 2,400 stitches every month on your chosen theme. And so I chose Lord of the Rings related. So during the Whip Go one, I said I probably wouldn't work on this one, but I have changed my mind, and I'll explain the reason why. My friend Maury has her dragons group, and she put up, I believe yesterday, the first monthly challenge, and it involves working on a dragon related project, or a project with a dragon in it. And so I was like, well, let's kill two birds with one stone. And so here we have Erebor, which has the dragon in it. And so this is the one I will work on. I also have another challenge that I will be able to fit this into as well. So if you didn't watch the Whip Go one, here is where I'm at on that. And I randomly chose a random place to start. I did not grid my fabric or anything. So, lovely. That'll be fun. But, I mean, 2,400 stitches will be like a 20 by 10, so 20 stitches down. So a royal row all the way across should be about 2,400 stitches. So that's pretty good. That'll be really good. Okay, the next group I wanted to talk about is the Daily 30. Daily 30 is their year-long project, is 200 stitches on one of your chosen projects, because you had to pre-choose without knowing what this was going to be at all. They had a post up and they said pick your 3 projects for this year's challenge, and so you had to blindly pick what 3 patterns. I think it'll be okay, but so basically you have to do 200 stitches on one of your chosen projects. You must relate it to one of the books from a provided list of books that they're going to give us, I'm hoping, this evening. But it might not be until midnight or something. And every 5 books that you complete, you have to have worked on each of the projects once during those 5 projects. So you can work on one project 3 times and then another one, the other 2 just once. But every 5 books that you complete earns you a bookmark, and you can use a bookmark to change out your project. You can change your project for free if you complete it. So when you complete a project, you just get to choose a new one. You must always have 3 projects. But you can use a bookmark to sub out one of your projects. And I think this is going to work much better for me this year, because that's basically every 1,000 stitches you can earn a swap out. And last year it was 4 projects, but I hated all of them basically. Well, I didn't hate them. It's just like immediately as soon as you choose something, you don't want to work on it anymore. So, I mean, do I think I chose the best projects this year? No, I do not. I have almost instant regret, but that's okay, because I do want to make some progress on this. And when I earn a bookmark, I might sub out some of these projects, like one at a time, for projects that will align with like other groups' challenges, so I can double dip more. And this isn't like you have to do so many per a month. You just have the whole year to do as many as you can. So the first project I chose is Lantern Lane. And here is what it will look like. And I've been trying to get this one finished up for quite some time now. And like, I'm probably about 2/3 of the way there. So I really want to get this one finished, which is why I chose it for this. The next one I chose is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. And I don't have a mock-up, but I'll show you where I'm at. Oops. So here is where I am at. And I love this fabric so much. I don't remember what it is. So I've made it to the end of the first row. I still need to do all of the stars. And the stars are, I believe, like 104 stitches or something like that. Just over 100. So basically every star I do, I will be able, well, I'll need to do 2 stars for a book. Just to make for some easy counting. So yeah, this is another one that I just have been wanting to make some progress on. It's only involves 3 colors. So that is that one. And the final one, which is another one that I've basically just been wanting to finish, is Halloween Rules by Lizzie Kate. And hang on. I have like 4.5 squares left to do. So here is where I am at on this. Hang on, let me. So here's where I'm at on it. I'm a good portion of the way done. This is block number 8, and I believe there are 12. And they make for some pretty quick stitching. So I really just need to buckle down and finish, which is, again, why I chose it. I'd really like to have this done and possibly FFO'd by Halloween. So, yeah, those are my 3 projects. Daily 30 also does weekly challenges, and they have the last of the challenges is always 5 days doing 30 minutes on a project. So I've chosen 2 projects that I'd really like to do the 30 minutes a day on. And the first one is a temperature walk with me. And this is one I started the background for like the year it was released. So I don't know what year that was. But so this is what it looks like. And this is just an example of what where she lives. Stitching Mommy. I even made up all the little floss cards at the time with the DMC colors on it, including, so these ones here are for the little background motifs. But then these ones, I even put the temperature, like 110 or higher, which where I live, that is a definite possibility of higher, or 110. We've gotten to 116, 118 before. And then as low as 50 or below, because we never really get to freezing. So, my plan for this one, is to do the daily temperature, probably the day after, I don't know, but then spend the rest of those 30 minutes working on finishing all the little extras, the fire hydrant, the bone, the roads, the dogs, the squirrels, tree, all those things. And once I get all of that background done, I will move on to the next project. So did I show where I was at on this? So I've started enough, I've done enough at the start that I'll be able to start the first paw print, which will be over here, and then be able to continue working on it, like the background and filling in that stuff. And each paw print is 5 days, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Like, so I'll be able to do at least 2 months worth without even having completed more than just this little section. So I think this is a good plan to get me working on this. And I don't know why I want to track this year's, well, I wanted to track in the past, but I don't want to go back and do one from the past. The only thing I wish is that she'd put the dates on the little paw prints, because it's going to be hard to keep track of, like, the dates. But anyways, so that's that. Once I have finished all the background for that, I have another tracker that'll fit into the 30 minutes. And I might, like, switch back and forth for a little while on these two. And that is a book tracker. So this is a 104 book reading tracker. And I am hoping to read this number of books this year. So that is 2 books a week. So it's a bookshelf. And so where each book is outlined is where the genres in the books you read. So I think what I'm gonna plan to do is I'll do the back stitching once I complete a row. But in the meantime, I can be outlining the shelves, like doing that stitching, do this, and as I complete a book, be able to stitch it. So it's assigned books for genres: romance, contemporary, nonfiction, thriller, mystery, historical, action adventure, classics, fantasy, science fiction, and horror. So those are the genres. I thought about changing some out, but I don't want to, because she does provide an alphabet, so I could do it, but I just don't want to math it. Like, I don't really read romance, but who knows? Maybe I'll read a couple romance books this year. So I am hoping to do at least 1 book for each of the genres. And then this is the fabric I chose for that. It is a 32 count Belfast linen in Dawn Blush. And someone gifted me this fabric. So those are my 2 little, like, bonus daily 30 projects. Okay, now we're headed towards the end, guys. This is like, what, a 2-hour long video? I might not get up tonight. Okay, so in group name, full coverage fanatics. I'm only doing one of their challenges this year, and that is a 2024 Epic Journey Challenge. And so these are all different journeys, and you don't have to do them in order, which is actually what I thought at first, that you had to do them in order. There are 25 journeys. So one thing I need to do is go and go through and update my tracker that I created, the post, and add all of these stitch options. So you can only do this on full coverage pieces. But I have a few full coverage pieces this year. The Haid, Sal. So I'm going to use that for some of the bigger numbers. There's some that are like 90, traveling across Brobdingnab. These aren't all real places. I mean, some are like the Pony Express or Canterbury's Tales. But then we also have like Don Quixote travels through Spain, or London to Hogwarts, or Sam and Frodo travel to Mount Doom. Then you have real ones, Charles Lindbergh's transatlantic flight, the Orient Express, the Great Wall of China. So you have a mixture of real ones and then fantasy ones, and I think that's really cool. But so on like Erebor, where I'm needing to do about 2,500 stitches a month, I will pick maybe some of the smaller, like the Canterbury Tales is just 85 stitches. That will be an easy one to complete. So I might mix that one with some other smaller ones. The Haid one that is quite large, I will be putting on the larger ones, like the Treasure Island, England to Caribbean, 92.90. So that's kind of my plan with that. I do have some full coverage Lord of the Rings ones, but I just don't know that I'm gonna bring them out at this point. I really want to try to do as much on that Haid Sal as I can. I'd really like to finish the 4 pages, but I've only ever finished a full page of a Haid once, so it'll be a big stretch. Okay, so that's the 2024 Epic Journey Challenge. Then I have my Bible reading, my scripture reading one, and this tells me every day what I should read to finish it by the end of the year. And so, yeah, I'll just be highlighting them as I complete them. Then the last one I wanted to share with you guys is a reading one. And there is a group called HPOOTP. I don't know what that stands for. I've been in this group for quite some time, but I've never done one of their challenges because at some point I joined, there was all that drama about J.K. Rowling's blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go into that. This year is the Newts challenge, so the nastily exhausting wizarding tests. In honor of our 7th yearly challenge, it's time to take your notes. As usual, you set the challenge. Each of the 12 classes have 5 book prompts and 1 action prompt. You get to decide which subjects to try to complete and therefore make the reading challenge as hard as you'd like. Please see our detailed rules here. They have a Facebook page, and they also have a Goodreads group. So, how many? 12 classes, 5 books. That's 60 books. So we've got 60 books plus my 25 on my WipGo board. So that's 85 books. Plus I'm hoping to read as many on the list for the yearly challenge as I can. So that should definitely put me over 100 by the end of it. And I'll be able to fit some of the 25 ones into here. So I'm really excited. I'm really hoping to get back into reading more, less watching of the gossip about the royal family and more audiobooks. But so like, I mean, there's ancient ruins, there's divinations, arithmancy, herbology, astronomy, history of magic, care of magical creatures, muggle studies, charms, potions, defense against the dark arts, and transfiguration. So some of the, I'm not going to read them all, but some of them are like a book set near water, a book you've banished. So that book that you're like, nope, I'm not going to finish that. Now you have to finish it. Read a book while drinking a potion, a drink with 2 or more ingredients. So like a cup of tea if you put in milk and sugar. a book that includes a war. It includes ghosting. A book that includes ghosting. Read a borrowed book. Read third book of a series. Includes a fictional language. A book that includes tea. And then in parentheses, they put gossip. Related to a zodiac sign. Related to an omen. I mean, there's just a lot of fun prompts, and I think it would be really cool to complete this. So that, my friends, is my 2024 plans. Overly ambitious? Yes, but you know, I always do that. And then I fail, and that's okay. The point is that you try. I hear a lot of people talking about what's the point in setting New Year's resolutions and all that kind of thing. And you know what? I think it's, for me personally, I think it's good, because even if I only do better for a short period of time, at least I've tried. And then sometimes some of those things stick. And so the point is that you're trying to do better. And so, yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. Anyways, I'm going to close this up because I got a ton of editing to do. And my husband and I are going to go to Chicago Fire Pizza for dinner tonight. And, yeah, I'm really excited about that. So I will chat with y'all in a little bit. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day. Oh, wait, one more thing. Okay, you see that little container behind? I will be using that to store my Whipply, my monthly projects on. So every month I'll go through and change out what's in there, or as I complete goals. So like I've already gotten this month's whip goes in there. I will also put in most of these things that I've showed you today, as they are things that need to be worked on during the month. And I don't want to always be having to rifle through my projects. I'd like the things that I'm going to work on to be readily available. So that is part of my organizational strategy. That is from shopping and need to be put away. All of it in the bedroom, actually. I've got some new pairs of jeans. My husband has some sneakers in there. That's part of what I need to do to organize this craft room. But anyways, I hope you have a fantastic and happy New Year's. I hope that 2024 is even better than 2023. And let me know in the comments down below if you have a preview video of what you're doing this month, or just tell me what your plans are for 2024. I always love to see what other people are planning to do. So, bye and happy New Year's!